First of all, listen, it's interesting about all these young guys today. They never call on us and say, hey, thanks for the kind word and telling me how great a player I am. But when they play like crap and we call them out, we don't know what we're talking about. Listen, I'm easy to find, but I get sick of these guys complaining. These young guys, they never call us and say, when a coach is wrong, I'm going to call him out. But when players are wrong, I'm going to call them out. But listen, I'm going to criticize guys if they deserve it. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.
What's going on, YouTube? Nathan back with another video presentation. Hope everybody had a great week. It's Friday the 13th. I hope everyone's staying safe from the storms. Hope everybody is staying cool and staying hydrated. It's hot weather. This weather was crazy. It was hot as fish grease, hot as some sand and stove to 500. You can put any other phrase in that. This week was just hot. I do apologize for my mood because the Baltimore Orioles just got their ass kicked. Excuse the language. 8-1 by the Boston Red Sox. So now we're 1-9 in the month of August. My God. Couple things we got a lot to talk about in this episode. This is episode 8. But before we get into the video, there's a few things I need to say up front. So, episode 9, season 2. I apologize. So before we get into it, let me just say this up front. So the episodes up until last episode 8 have been uploaded on Anchor, and you also see them on Spotify. So again, I do apologize. Thank you for your patience. All the episodes are currently up to date for season 2. So I'm going to do some things different as I've gotten some feedback about the podcast. So what I want to do is I'm going to do from now on put timestamps in the video. If you want to hear me talk about NBA, there'll be a timestamp. Football, timestamp. Baseball, timestamp. WNBA, timestamp, and so forth. If that's what you prefer. So I will do that going forward, starting with this episode and others. Season 2 most likely will end before opening week for the NFL. I haven't decided yet, but I'm leaning towards season 3 starting with the NFL season underway. I will still cover the WNBA. I'm still going to cover Major League Baseball, anything around the NBA. I'll still follow up with that. Hockey, again, it's kind of hard to balance all the sports at once, but I will do my best to cover that any way that I can. But those are some quick updates. The next episode, episode 10, you will probably see that sometime. Hopefully, if it's not this weekend, probably sometime early next week. This episode will be on Anchor and Spotify once I end the live. But that's it. That's all the announcements I have going forward. So definitely be on the lookout for that. I could go back and put the timestamps in for the other episodes. I do have playlists. I have a season 1 playlist and I have a season 2 playlist that's up to date. I need to update. Excuse me. So if you're enjoying the content that you're seeing, and you want to see more of it, be sure to hit that thumbs up. Consider hitting that subscribe button along with notification bells on. Again, I do appreciate the support that I have been getting on the channel. This means a lot. So, got a lot to get into tonight. So we're going to start with the Field of Dreams baseball game last night. The Chicago White Sox versus the New York Yankees. Man, one of the best things I was able to watch last night. If you don't hear Field of Dreams, it was a good movie, early 90s with great Kevin Costner. That Major League Baseball did a really great job with it. The White Sox and the Yankees, they played one hell of a game. There was an instance, I forgot who it was. All that corn you see, that's not for eating. That's feed. That's for the cows. I think it was Dylan Cease, and I can't think who the other guy was. He ate the corn, and they were like, ugh. It was funny. They called it. But I thought the best part was the start of the game where Kevin Costner walked out in the cornfield and then all the Yankees and White Sox walked out together. I thought that was really awesome, just like in the movie itself. Things I took away from it. First and foremost, that ninth inning was crazy. Tim Anderson walked it off with the 2-run home run, which ended the game 9-8. That's his 13 on the year. They're now 11 and a half games out of first in the AL Central. So, like, Tim Anderson is no joke. I think this might be one of the best years he's having since he's been in the league. I gotta give a shout out to Sevi Savelia, who's a catcher who's basically in place until Yasmani Grandal comes back from injury. He set the tone because he was the number 9 hitter, and he was down 0-2 to Zach Britton because he was on the mound. But plate discipline and patience, Britton walked him. So can't get ignored at that. Aaron Judge had, excuse me, he had the 3-1 home run off Lance Lynn, and then he had the 2-run blast off Liam Hendricks. Lance Lynn did well in the first 4 innings, but I think the 3-run home run, and then I forgot how you got the 4th, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Well, I was looking at, it's power pitching versus power hitting. And Aaron Judge hit 2 good home runs there. Giancarlo Stanton, he did well. He hit the go-ahead home run off Liam Hendricks. I don't know why Garcia, the left fielder, I don't even know why he even would try to go at the wall. That made no sense to me. Just, again, the preseason, just the beginning of it was just so amazing, y'all. I can't, tell you, it looked really just like the movie. It really did. What else I'm looking at? Think of Jose Abreu. He hit a home run in the first inning. It was an 0-2 pitch. And I'm like, wow. Because that was the first home run for an American League ball player and an NHL ball player in Iowa, which was kind of interesting. So he also ties with the great Harold Baines, outfield, former White Sox, former Oriole, with 221 home runs. Jose Abreu was having a good year too, in my opinion. Jimenez had a great game. It was just overall, it was just a really great game to watch. I think I saw a statistic that was probably the most watched baseball game since, was it 2004, 2005? So it was really great. I really can't wait to see who's going to do it again next year. I have to give Major League Baseball credit. I really do. It was a really great game. That means now I have to save up some money and go out there and see the game myself in person. Hopefully next year things with COVID cool down. I have to go and see it for myself. I really do. But great game last night. Just, wow. Words cannot describe. That was the best. And also I got to give a real quick shout out. MLB the Show, San Diego Studios, they did something like that similar because they're paying homage to Roberto Clemente, probably arguably one of the best outfielders of his generation, who played a role in beating the Orioles in the 1970 World Series because his birthday is coming up on the 18th. He died on New Year's Eve in a plane crash outside Puerto Rico. So I think that's really great that they're kind of paying homage towards Roberto Clemente. Got to give him a quick shout out. I'm going to transition, stick with baseball. I'm going to transition. The Baltimore Orioles suck. Yes, you see it. You just see it right there. We lost tonight, 8-1 to the Red Sox. And then we lost to the Tigers, who are a subpar 500 team. The only bright spots I can take away from that is we did not surrender Miguel Cabrera's 500th career home run. He now has 499 home runs. I thought that would have happened, but it didn't. I really don't know what to say about the Orioles. I really don't. They are I feel really bad for the young guys. Like they're just being thrown to the wolves. And there's really just not much you can say besides Cedric Mullins, who I think is having who's having an all-star year. Ryan Metcalf has shown that he's a piece for this team going forward. Trey Mancini is the veteran for this team. I mean, John Means too. They don't have this team. This team sucks. And listen, I love my team, but look at this. It's getting really, really hard to watch some of these games. It's getting really hard. And I want to keep in mind the next 22 of their games, 19 of the 22 games that they're playing starting as of today, they're all against winning teams. And then they play the Angels, who were but since Mike Trout's kind of been out with injury, they're hovering above 500. Not guaranteed, because my personal opinion, Shohei Ohtani is carrying that team. Without Mike Trout, my personal opinion. But tonight, hot trash. I mean, Spencer Watkins, the first two batters in the third inning, gave up a run on 2 walks and a double. And then he gave up a home run to Xavier Bogaerts, which made it 6-1. And then, embarrassingly, like, come on now. Like, this team is. Let me watch my words, because the more I talk about the Orioles, I'm going to lose my mind. I really cannot. You can't. What am I supposed to say? This is hot trash. I mean, again, they're on the road. They're on the road. I mean, 8-1. What am I to say? Like, Watkins, 6 runs, 7 hits, 3 walks, and 4 innings. I mean, again, welcome to the show. But who started? Nick Pivetta looked like the second coming of Rick Porcello out there. He dominated for 6 innings, and all he gave was a run. And the thing is, the Orioles really lack in getting runners in scoring position. That's their biggest weakness. Again, bullpen, hot trash. Dustin Knight, Cesar Valdez gave up home runs each. Like, bro, you know what? On the year, because I'm done talking about the Orioles because they're going to piss me off. They're 38-76. Again, they're playing winning teams. These next now 21 games. I guarantee you they're going to get swept by the Boston Celtics. I mean, the Boston Red Sox. Guaranteed. Because they're playing like, come on, man. 1 run? Where's the effort? And I feel bad for Brandon Hyde because he has absolutely, besides Mullins, Mancini, Mountcastle, and maybe Ramon Urias, he has nothing to work with. That bullpen sucks. The pitching rotation, hot trash, besides John Means, who came off an injury. Spencer Watkins, he gets a pass because it's kind of like a Cinderella story. But we keep bringing up these young guys and we're throwing them into the wolves. Matt Harvey is kind of having, I wouldn't say like a bounce back year, but he's having an okay year. When you lack run support, when you lack getting runners in scoring position, this is the result. 8-1. And then lose at home to a subpar 500 team the night before. Another subject, we're going to stick with baseball that I already saw coming. Oriole first baseman, DH, somewhat outfielder, Chris Davis, decided to call it a career. Let me just say this. Chris Davis, his trade from Texas, I didn't know the kind of player we were getting. Okay? I didn't know that. I personally felt, just my personal opinion, we could agree to disagree, it could be Mark Reynolds. I felt like the Orioles should have invested more in. Because his first year as an Oriole, Mark Reynolds, and I'm going to get to Chris Davis, just stick with me. He was fourth best in the American League in home runs. You can throw the whole stats at me with Mark Reynolds' strikeout, the hit ratio. You can throw that all at me. But when he was with the Diamondbacks, he had 44 home runs. I look at Chris Davis. I'm not ignoring that he's a two-time leader in home runs. He had 53, 48 respectively. Okay? But it was particularly after 2016. And this is when the team really started to fall apart. And I blame Dan Duquette and Brady Anderson in this regard. Because they set the team up to fail. Now, I know where you're going to go. You say, well, what does that have to do with Chris Davis? Chris Davis was given $161 million for 7 years. This was him coming off the year before in the having the best, hitting with 48 home runs, and then the year before 53. Now I believe he got suspended because the type of medicine he was taking, because he has ADHD, which is supposedly, I didn't know this, is a PhD, a PED. I had to Google that. Make sure I saw that right. Hold on. Because I was like, what? Where is it? So I have a theory on that. I think this was 2014. He was suspended for 25 games for positive amphetamine tests. But he's saying it was for his ADHD. So it's Adderall. But it's a substance that's used to treat ADHD people. And they made him change it. And it's just my theory. I feel like this. You know what? I'm keeping that to myself. That's besides the point. Chris Davis continued to struggle. You know, seeing him at the plate really, really was hard. It was hard to watch it. Because I remember back in, it was 2009, we had a guy by the name of Garrett Atkins. Not on his level like Chris Davis, but Garrett Atkins really struggled as an Oriole. I think he only had one home run and like 20 RBIs, and we cut him. The first year of his contract, he hit 38 home runs, which was 8th best in the American League. 2017, 215. He struck out 195 times. 2018, he started the year off with a batting average, which was 150, and struck out 86 times in 57 games. That year, he got benched. This was when Brandon Hyde came to Baltimore. This was 2018. 2018, yes. He hit a abysmal 168 with 16 home runs and struck out 192 times in 128 games, according to my notes. That was the Major League leading 36.8% of his at-bats. At the time, this was 2 years going into the $161 million contract. And another statistic I found, he was at the time the 4th all-active player in career strikeouts with 1,696 strikeouts. 2019, he had a hitless streak of over 46 He was 0 for 49 up until, I guess, the Athletics. He had passed a former baseball player. Had to look this up. I couldn't believe it. Years ago. Eugenio Velez, who had a hitless streak of 0-46 in 2010. And then Chris Davis was 0 for 54. Luckily, he broke it against the Boston Red Sox. Now, Chris Davis, 2019, he had this playing time really dwindled. When I mean dwindled, he didn't even see like the last 2 months of really much playing time. He hit 179 2019 and played in 105 games. Last year only played 16 games. No home run. He only played 16 games. Then this year was on the 60-day disabled list with a back strain, and then he was going to get arthroscopic surgery on his left hip. And then yesterday on the 12th, called it a career. What am I supposed to say? You see to watch a guy go from one of the most feared hitters in the game to being virtually mediocre. That to me, this is sad. I liked Chris Davis. I have nothing against him. Me personally, I wish he and Mark Reynolds were on the same team together. But obviously, they invested more in Chris Davis than Mark Reynolds. Me personally, I saw nice if Chris Davis was the DH and Mark Reynolds was the first baseman. Yes, and I still think we could have had Manny and Jonathan Scope, in my opinion. But we don't live in fantasy. We live in the real world. So, unfortunately, because we still oh my God. He has $42 million left in payments of his contract. So the Baltimore Orioles, according to my lovely source, Spot Track, right? We have deferred payments for 15 years. That's starting in 2023 to 2037. That's when this 7-year deal will end. Because he's going to get next year, he's going to get $22 million of his salary. From 2023 to 2025, he's going to get $9.1 million annually. From 2026 to 2032, $3.5 million. From 2033 to 2037, $1.4 million. By 2037, he'll be 32. So, and again, Bob Nightingale on USA Today also said, I have it here in my notes, quote, Davis already deferred $6 million of his salary for next year. Yo, so now August 12th will now be Chris Davis Day. That's like the Mets when they gave Bobby Bonilla that horrendously bad contract. Now we have to do that too. Because Bobby Bonilla is getting paid $1.1 million 2035 after an abysmal year with the Mets and a dysfunctional year with the Mets, with the media and the team. That's not Chris Davis. Not a shot at Bobby Bonilla. Bobby Bonilla was a good player for the Orioles. Now, with Chris Davis, we can make an argument. We can talk about the injuries after getting the contract, but he directly cited that injuries played a part in his retirement. And that says a lot. And that's why I'm really a proponent of not giving guys long-term deals. these guys getting these 15, 14-year deals in any sport, whether it's football, basketball, hockey. Not a fan of it because look at the end result. We have to pay his remaining contract. When the NBA, they can void your contract. So it was an investment. We took a chance. He disappointed after 2016. But I blame, honestly, truthfully, I blame Dan Duquette and Brady Anderson. I believe both of them set the team up to fail. And I found it very, very suspicious how Dan Duquette wanted to go back to the Blue Jays. There was division between Brady Anderson, Dan Duquette, and Buck Showalter at the time. I found that to be disgusting. But, it is what it is. I still believe the Orioles are another year or two from competing. But this takes the cake. I'm disgusted. I want to throw up. Okay, enough baseball talk. Let's talk about some football. So we had a doubleheader preseason last night. The Pittsburgh Steelers played those Eagles, and that Washington football team played the Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. There's a couple things I took away from it. I got to give a shout out real quick to Sean Spencer and the Washington Football Weekly group. They did like a pregame show. I caught like the last few minutes of it, but it was really good. A couple things I took away from it. Let me give Tyler Heineke some love. I think it was kind of we put Tyler Heineke in this regard. He played really well in that wild card game against Tampa. I'm thinking like, oh, okay, like he's going to be the starter going forward. Sean, what's good, man? What's good? Heineke did really well. I have my notes here: 9 of 15, 86 yards. I thought on their first touchdown drive, it was an 11-yard pass. That was really good. Fitzpatrick, I think, had a decent game: 5 of 8 for 58 yards. Logan Thomas, did pretty well. Hang on real quick. Excuse me, I had some internet problems. I apologize. I'm not going to really panic on the field goal attempts. Dustin Hopkins missed 2. I'm not going to panic on that. I will also say this. The last play of the game, it was a 3rd and 9. Score was 13-15 New England. They gave up a 91-yard touchdown. I saw no hustling on defense. That can't happen. That really can't happen. That is an unwritten rule in football about effort. Treat that like it's a 2-minute warning. You have no timeouts. 3rd and 9, you're going to get the ball back. And the fact that it's one thing if he got the first down and then maybe like 5-7 yards extra. But the fact nobody touched him and I saw no hustle, that's what they look for. That's how you're easily cut from a team. When you're showing no hustle and trying to contain a play like that. That's crazy to me. We don't really know as of right now who's going to be the starting quarterback for Washington. My money is still on Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think personally, I think it was a great game. Lord, That 91-yard drive was just disgusting. That can't happen. It honestly and truthfully can't. Darius Geis is suspended for 6 games for domestic violence. Ron Rivera was pleased with some of the rookies. Sammy Reyes, I think he's going to make the team. It's Fitzpatrick's job. I agree, Sean. I liked this right tackle. His name was Sam Kosami. If I'm saying his name right. He did really well in the run and passing block. Now I'm not saying he's starting, but he did really well with that. Again, Sammy Reyes caught 2 passes, but I don't feel like they were natural passes. That TD came against a 4-string, but it was still a good touchdown pass, though. Jamin Davis, I think you just need extra reps, and give him a couple more practices. I think he'll come along. I didn't see anything wrong with it. Jared Patterson actually had a decent. He looked really good. I liked it. And of course, Demi Brown didn't play. I was really kind of expecting him to play, and then Benjamin St. Justice didn't play. So I was looking for that. All limited. But it was a really great game. I just think that last play on the drive, that can't happen. It just can't. But also, I think also too, Chase Young is ready for week 1. Can we just get that out there, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, I know what you're talking about, the 91 yard, but still, the 4th yard. If it's 4th string, somebody in that 4th string is got to make an impressment, and you're there to make the team, at least the practice squad at best. That you got to give me some effort. The Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Mason Rudolph's backup role to Big Ben might be in jeopardy. This just for the record. I think the Baltimore the Ravens. I know this. I'm probably thinking, wow, Nathan, you're talking crazy. They should consider looking at Mason Rudolph as a backup, not a shot at Trace McSorley or Tyler Huntley. But with Lamar Jackson having COVID, not once but twice, I'm not taking chances. But if I'm John Harbaugh, I'm sitting down with McSorley and Huntley, and I'm saying, listen, if something goes down with Lamar again, both of y'all got to step it up. Okay? We can say what we want about Dwayne Haskins. Again, as a 15th overall pick, I made 2 videos on this. I was just disappointed in him. No one's talking about the talent coming out of Ohio State because we know what type of quarterback. Does that make me crazy? That's a good one, Sean. That's a good one. We can say all the things. We're not talking about the play. We're talking about the off-the-field antics with Dwayne Haskins. Where was his priorities? Quitting on your team at getting benched at halftime and then quitting on your team, that's a no-no. You're trying to bring friends and family to the team's hotel. That can't happen. You're bringing, whether you and your now soon-to-be wife were at a strip club or had strippers at your house with all that booty going up and down the pole, your mind wasn't on football, in my personal opinion. And I feel like now he knows, because I said he was going to get another opportunity, but now he's making the most of it. Couple things I took away from it. Haskins did a really good job. 16 of 22 passes, 161 yards for a touchdown. All 4 scoring drives. I think it's the right step for him, personally. I think going forward, I think it's going to be Big Ben, Haskins, and Rudolph, and then unfortunately, I think Hobbs is the odd man out. That's just my opinion. Zach Ertz. Well, first and foremost, let me say this about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has shown that he has a pass-first mentality. I feel bad for Jalen Hurts because I feel like hold on, let me make sure I have the head coach's name right. Nick Sahar. So, no, I don't want to name drop it. Sirianni has no idea what the heck he's doing. I feel like Jalen Hurts is being thrown under the bus, in my personal opinion. There's now this expectation of how the season last year with the Eagles went. I thought the way they handled, I think the way how Carson Wentz was scapegoated, and we didn't look at Jeffrey Lurie and Doug Peterson and the job that they did. I feel like they're not sold on Jalen Hurts. I feel like Jalen Hurts might be in a situation where I think they're going to set him up to fail. That's just my opinion. I feel that way. Zach Ertz played a really great game. Dallas Goddard had a 34-yard pass. That was on the opening drive, too. I had it on my notes. There really wasn't any. I just need to see what the Eagles are going to look like this year. I do. I think it was kind of unfair. I think we're just kind of being unfair to Jalen Hurts. Oh, and I got to give a shout to Joe Flacco. That's the reason why I wanted to see it, because of Joe Flacco. He had a really nice pass. It was a screen. It was a 79-yard touchdown to Quez Watkins. Same thing. How do you let a screen pass and you broke it open for 76 yards is beyond me. Beyond me. He finished with 10 of 17, 170 yards, and then one touchdown. I like Tyree Jackson. He did caught two passes. Nick Mullins, I did throw a pick, but that was in the third quarter. Their offense on third down was horrendous, was just bad. They were 0-8. That was disgusting. Those are the things I took away from the Eagles in the Steelers game. But, it was overall two great preseason football games. I can't wait for the rest of the preseason. I can't really wait. I'm sorry, that Washington one, man. Oh, God. I can't defend that. And then I was kind of funny. This was just a joke, but Cam Newton said he jokes that Chase Young is smaller than I thought. Quote, he's smaller than I thought. I'm just messing with you. That's a joke. I'm just messing with you. But yeah, he's good. He's going to be good, man. He's going to be good. He's going to be real good. But I got to do a better job of protecting the football. And he kind of got me like in the right in the tweener when I was letting the ball go or trying to pull it back. So yeah, Chase Young is serious. Hey, Lucinda, good to see you. Happy Friday. Yes, you too. Be blessed. Stay up. Watch out for the Cardinals. They're playing right now. Yes. The Bills beat Detroit. What? That one play. What? What do you mean, Sean? What do you mean? So, yeah. Also, too, I forgot, Mac Jones actually also had a good game too. So, I'm gonna look at the highlights for let's see who else is playing tonight in the preseason. It was the Cardinals and the Dallas Cowboys. Okay. Titans played the Falcons. Bills played the Lions. So I'll look at the highlights and cover those in the next episode. So I'm going to try to cover each as best I can for y'all. Nah, I don't want to talk about the Cowboys. I can't stand Cowboy fans. I can't. And I thought Yankee fans were, and I thought they're not as bad as Yankee fans, but Lord have mercy. Let me stick with football. Give you some Baltimore Raven updates. Rashard Bateman got groin surgery. He's going to be out until September. Of course, they're going to move the goalpost and they're going to say, "Wow, their wide receivers out. Can the other step up?" I knew it was bound to happen. The whole game was good, but one player just messed it up. I understand that, but again, I'm just saying, as a coach, there's something. It's just something about giving maximum effort from when the whistle blow from the game when the game starts to the game ends. It was 39. You're down 2-minute warning. I looked at it as a playoff game. If that was a game where they needed to get into the playoffs and it happened, come on, I'm just saying. Excuse me, as I was saying. So he's gonna be out till at least September. He probably will miss like the first few weeks. I probably say up to week 4 easily. I feel like every wide receiver we draft, something happens to them. It really does. It's disgusting. Josh Oliver has been playing. Is really impressing me. He's looking really great out there. Brandon Stevens is really doing well as they're trying to transition him to move to safety. I think he's been really doing well at that. The wide receivers are looking better. I told you with the new coaching additions, they're playing. These guys actually might come out and they're ready to swing for the fences. Don't sleep on that. I think with Sammy Watkins, I just think it's just needing a leader. I'm just giving that as an example, Sean. I'm just giving that as an example. Preseason game, you're out there. You're trying to impress. You're trying to make the team, and that. Well, I'm going to save this comment for the end of the video. I'm going to save it. I lost my train of thought. Sammy Watkins. I think the thing with Baltimore is they need a leader as far as wide receiver. Like I said, Anquan Bolden, like Steve Smith, like that's something, in my personal opinion, that the Ravens lacked. In my personal opinion, like I said, James Prochet, Devin Duvernay, like I said, give those guys opportunities and they will eat. You know, that's what needs to happen. Now, John Harbaugh got mad. I wasn't sure what that was about. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He kind of gave everybody he kind of ripped everyone a new one. It was kind of like words of motivation. If anything, that was a great learning tool. Well, that's my point. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's a learning tool. Like okay, like we got to work on that. Like that can't happen. That's my point. So, yeah, because we play the Saints. Oh, I think it's not this week. I think it's next week. As our preseason opener. We play, tomorrow. I'm sorry, tomorrow night we play the Saints home. So John Harbaugh usually does that. He gives he goes off on these guys and rips them a new one. But it's just motivation. So try to get them fired up. What else is happening around the NFL? Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, they were talking about on First Take. I kind of do see them. I see them repeating. I think it'll be tougher, but to get 22 starters back, that's amazing. I think the biggest thing is if Tampa Bay can stay consistent and stay healthy, I think Tampa Bay will be it. Now, there was something where Tom Brady did. He said he called the NFL players ignorant because of the rising NFL, because of the franchise values and the salary cap dropped. Pretty much, he was saying, that the salary cap dropped by 20%. Now, the media deals were announced by the day after the 2021 salary cap players caps were set. NFL players better wake up. Like I said, player associations matter. That's interesting. Your salary cap dropped by 20%, but your value of the NFL franchises went up by 14%. Something's not right with that. What two teams will be in the Super Bowl? You will see that week 1. I'll give my predictions who will be in the Super Bowl in week 1 of the kickoff in season 3. So that's a surprise. You will see. Good question. I do think they need to really look at that. 20%. So we're talking guys taking pay cuts, or losing money. That's not ignorant. That's not being. I think ignorant is kind of not as a poor choice of word. I would say is not being aware, not being smart. I think that's a better word. That's a better word I would use, in my opinion. So, also too, the Jacksonville Jaguars, they traded Joe Schobert to the Pittsburgh Steelers for a 6th-round pick. I'm not getting what's up with Urban Meyer making these trades. Yes, I did say the Bucs would be there, but I'm not saying who the AFC team is. And no, I'm not being biased. I'm not saying it's Baltimore. I'm not going to say it's Buffalo. I'm not going to say it's Kansas City. You'll see the surprise. Trust me, you will see it. I'm not really understanding this trade. I like the trade. I just don't really understand why now. I knew at some point he was going to go to Pittsburgh. The Jaguars are going to pay some of the $7.3 million of that salary. And it's just a 6th-round pick. That's all Jacksonville's getting. I don't understand that. I feel like now the Steelers have Devin Bush and Schobert. I don't know how they're going to utilize him in that defense, but we will see. That's just mind-boggling to me. I don't really know what's going on in Jacksonville. Like, I don't. I can't. Okay. So, in other words, another news, the Washington football team is banning fans from wearing Native American dress. So, basically, like anything like the wearing around the head, anything like that. So, as part of a new policy that will create, quote, the best fan possible experience for all. So, as you know, last July, the logo was retired. Me personally, it's just Daniel Snyder just trying to just make amends, try to turn wrongs into rights. I've been on the record about Dan Snyder. Yes, the term is highly wrong. It's insensitive, but he had an opportunity to make it right when he first became owner in 1999, but didn't do that. And I mean, just if you didn't know this, but most of the sport teams are named after indigenous people, adopting logos and mascots. Look at the Cleveland baseball team. You know, they're now going to be from the Cleveland Indians to the Cleveland Guardians. I'm still waiting to see what the Washington football team's name is going to be. I personally think Red Tails, like the Tuskegee Airmen or Monarchs or Washington Lightning. No. Okay, I'm running out of ideas. I can't think of top of my head the other names I can think of for the Washington football team. So I mean that was pretty much all that's around the NFL that's happening so far. But I'm going to transition into the NBA. I'm going to start with Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard inked a 4-year deal for $176 million. Excuse me, I wrote 173. I apologize. Let me change that. $176 million. People can say what they want about Kawhi Leonard. This is my personal opinion. I think Kawhi Leonard, if healthy, they would have beaten the Phoenix Suns and they would have faced the Milwaukee Bucks in the NBA Finals. That's my personal opinion. As y'all said, I said it in the video in multiple videos. I had the Clippers versus the Bucks in the NBA Finals. I mean, besides Kawhi's health, I think the way he left San Antonio, I thought that was disgusting. You're hearing guys in that locker room saying that they had trust issues about that. Because the fact you only played 9 games and all of a sudden you wanted out. I feel like really honestly, ever since that injury against Golden State, something about Kawhi has not been the same. We were jokingly in the group chat, shout out to Cameron Crump, Marcus, Elliott, Kawhi Leonard. Looks like this is just his part-time job. Just part-time job with basketball. But I mean, listen, regardless of what we can say, unfortunately, he's going to miss some time this upcoming season because he's going to get surgery on his right torn ACL because he missed 8 playoff games straight up, and that really hurt. But I think, me personally, this is the window of opportunity this is their window for win a championship. They pretty much kept their core intact. They still got Reggie Jackson, Nicholas Batum, Serge Ibaka, and they got Justice Winslow. So, again, he averaged 24 and 6. Yes, I mean, I understand he only played 52 games. And listen, we got a glimpse of what Paul George could be. Kawhi Leonard has to get some credit for the way the Clippers didn't get to the first Western Conference Finals appearance in over 50 years. He plays a part in that. I was watching First Take, and I was very disgusted. I don't know what this agenda is. Stephen A. Smith has some type of personal agenda or vendetta against Kawhi Leonard because he seems to bring up negative. I understand the injuries. Injuries come as part of the game. But he was basically talking about that the Los Angeles Clippers should at some point consider, moving on from Kawhi Leonard and, just go along with Paul George and Terrence Mann. Pretty much saying that they don't need Kawhi Leonard. That's stupid. In my personal opinion. I don't know what I mean, he averaged 30.7 rebounds a game while shooting 57% in those 11 postseason games. And then Paul George averaged 26 and 9. And you mean to tell me that they need to move on from Kawhi Leonard, Stephen A? Are you serious? Now, I think because the contracts, the way they sign them is supposed to go into 2024, 2025, and that's where the Clippers are going to move to Inglewood, California. Shout out to Inglewood. That's interesting. But I think the Clip. I think it's going to be tough. Excuse me, I apologize. Ankle's itching. That's going to be tough for me personally. I just can't see with this loaded team. I mean, loaded Western Conference, Los Angeles Lakers, Phoenix, Denver, Dallas, Memphis, Golden State. That's tough. Portland. That's tough. So I think Kawhi will be okay. I think he'll be all right. Also, it's going around the NBA. Jalen Suggs tweaked his hamstring against the Raptors, so he's done. He's going to take him as a precaution. Isaiah Thomas needs to be on the NBA roster. He needs to be. Let me just say that for the record. LiAngelo Ball's been playing some great basketball. Again, I feel like if he stayed out of trouble, I think he could have been a potential lottery pick, in my personal opinion. Enes Kanter signed with the Boston Celtics. Giannis's younger brother Thanos signed a 2-year deal with the Milwaukee Bucks. I think that was great. Just more energy off the bench. And again, Udonis Haslam's coming back on the Miami Heat. If he's the oldest player in their franchise history, I think if he plays because he didn't really play that much during the season. Once he signs, only him, Dirk, and Kobe Bryant spent more years with one franchise than Haslam. So I think he's a great leader. Yeah, I mean at this point he's just more of this a guy that just gives guys motivation and confidence. That's really what he is to me, in my personal opinion. So we're going to stick with basketball. We're going to transition into the WNBA. My thoughts on the inaugural Commissioner's Cup. Well, first of all, let me say this. I think it was disgusting that I saw no publicity for the Commissioner's Cup. I saw no commercial for it. I did not. I didn't see no ad, no nothing. I didn't see anything on ESPN, Fox Sports, Bleachers Report. I didn't see. Well, Bleachers Report they was posting, but I didn't see no one really talk about this. And this is what bothers me. We can say what we want. It's a men's league driven sports, but the fact that just like the WNBA All-Star game, that's not where is the publicity at? Where is that? It really bothers me that we could promote the NBA playoffs every 5 minutes when it goes commercial, but we can't take 5 minutes and just say, "Hey, the WNBA Commissioner's Cup is coming on, this Thursday, August 12th," and it was on Amazon Prime. I mean, what? I mean, I saw the game, but I'm thinking it's going to be on ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN3, NBA TV. I thought it was going to be on TV. No, Amazon Prime. And yes, I understand. You had the Field of Dreams baseball game last night. You had preseason games. You had Little League World Series. But I mean, the fact that you couldn't even get TV time, that that right there, that's disgusting. I'm not mad. I'm frustrated as a fan of the WNBA that again, this is another event that should have gotten more publicity than what it gets. But unfortunately, it's just it's men-driven league sports. I get it. I understand. But let me talk about the game. Let me get off the soapbox. So the Seattle Storm won. It was a lopsided game, 79-57. I actually had this Connecticut Sun winning. My score was 91-92. I thought it was going to be that kind of a high-scoring game. Breonna Stewart led the way with 17 points. She had 3 rebounds. Jewel Lloyd had 16 points. Sue Bird had 10. They put this game away in the third quarter where they went on a 22-5 scoring run in the third quarter. So let me just let you guys know what the Commissioner's Cup is. So the Commissioner's Cup is basically a innovative season competition within a competition where each team will set their sights on winning $500,000 in prize pool. So how it works is bonus money and bragging rights will be on the line, and an interconference rival will take on new importance as teams vie for a spot in the Commissioner's Cup and a shot to win. So Breonna Stewart was the MVP, so she got $30,000 as a bonus. Well, each player received $30,000 for winning the game. And then Breonna Stewart got an extra $5,000 as a bonus because she was MVP. Now, in a league, particularly where the rookies come in, they're making about between $50,000 and $70,000. I think that's a pretty good incentive. Now, unfortunately, I don't think we should be. I would like to see more of that, but I would like to have the way the CBA. I read it verbatim. The way it's, to me, I still need. I have questions that need answering because I would really like to be educated on that. But the Connecticut Sun, each player will get $10,000. I mean, the Connecticut Sun just looked. I mean, rusty's not the word I'd use. They just looked. They got embarrassed. No excuse. You're playing against three Olympians that are coming off on a great Olympic run, and they should have taken advantage of it. Alyssa Thomas didn't play, and I understand that, from July until August, as of yesterday, they were on hiatus. So, I mean, in the meantime, there's practicing, but not like scrimmaging. And they turned the ball over 20 times. That was the most eye-opening statistic. That was the second most turnovers they had this season. The amount of shot clock violations, I cannot tell you. I'm sitting there like, what are they doing? I give the Seattle Storm credit on defense. Like, they were really playing some really great defense, but that's a sign that a team is just not in sync. Overall, they shot an abysmal in the first three quarters combined. They shot 9 of 30 in the paint, and then 0 of 9. That was horrible. Just horrible. I really don't really know like what to really say about that. It was just really just not a really great game for the Storm. Just that. They went on a 22-5 run. By the fourth quarter, I turned it off. I didn't turn it off. I was really hoping to see a comeback. Your leading scorer was DeWanna Bonner and Natasha Heinerman with 11 points each. Like my girl Brianna Jones, she only 3 of 9. Yeah, they were out of sync. Totally out of sync. And let me just say this real quick. I feel like this needs to be addressed. This is just my personal opinion. I don't know where this hate on Breonna Stewart comes from. Breonna Stewart is a great player, but I think looking from the outside in, it's more about their accomplishments not really getting acknowledged. Like Asia Wilson, Nick Ogumake, particularly in the bubble last year, Asia Wilson did not get the same recognition that Breonna Stewart is getting. And I get it. Just like Maya Moore, when she was from UConn, she changed that franchise around when she was drafted by the Minnesota Lynx. Maya Moore, same way at UConn. Breonna Stewart, same thing, a winning mentality. When Sue Bird retires, it's Breonna Stewart's team. Asia Wilson won MVP without the second best player on the team, and that was Liz Cambage. And Asia is coming from probably one of the best programs. Well, the second best. Maryland's the best program. One of the best programs in women's basketball, coached by the great Dawn Stanley. This is not a black and white thing. This is about respecting the game, respecting each other, and respecting the acknowledgement. I give Breanna Stewart credit. Breanna Stewart is one of the best WNBA players in the game right now. I know she's in EuroLeague MVP last year. She's champion. She's doing it all right now. She's having fun. She's doing her thing. She's loving she's loving the game of basketball. But it's to me, it's more about here's a league where they're not getting the recognition like in the NBA. Just my opinion. But overall, I thought the Commissioner's Cup was really great. I would like to see this next year. I can't wait. $500,000. I'd like to see more. I'd like to see that be $1 million next year. I would. But it was really, really fun to watch. It had someone named Mariah the Scientist at halftime. I'd never heard of her. I had to Google her. I'm like, who the hell? Like, who is this? So that was a great, interesting little halftime show. Shout out to the great Lisa Leslie. They called a great game. This. I was expecting more. I was expecting more, and it didn't happen. Also, let me say this too: when Alyssa Thomas comes back, do not sleep on this team in Connecticut. Don't sleep on them. I'm just saying. And also too, like they were adding different things like technology to how to make the pace better in the game. I like that because I know people have been saying the pace is too slow. You know, all these other things like that to try to make the game better. But overall, I had to give the Commissioner's Cup, and besides the lopsided game, it was pretty fun to watch. It was pretty fun to watch. I can't wait to see for next year. So congratulations to the Seattle Storm. And this gives other teams, you know, motivation to say, oh, okay. Next year we gotta come stronger than that. So I can't wait to see it. I can't wait. I'm going to stick with WNBA real quick. I'm going to talk about Natasha Cloud. I was on Twitter, and Christina Williams was talking about, shared a tweet about how the Washington Mystics have this pre-practice COVID testing protocol. And Natasha Cloud, quote, WNBA COVID testing. This is a joke. Tell us player health isn't a priority without telling us player health is a priority. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you what she meant by that because she showed a whole video of how they do the COVID testing. I thought this was really interesting. And I apologize if it's laggy. It's kind of lagging on my end a little bit.
Clockwise and counterclockwise.
Hitting that nose ring. You see that? You got 2 nose rings?
Mm-hmm. You just
What?
You don't love me if you just don't love me.
I thought you just had the hoop.
No, oh shit. Okay.
Oh,
okay.
Your turn, girl.
Okay, 5 times clockwise, 5 times counterclockwise.
Okay, so what they're doing is they're doing the pre-COVID, they're doing before the practice, they're doing the COVID testing. And yes, for the record, they do that, ladies and gentlemen. That's for anybody.
Up in there.
I know, like I feel like it's not even like I'm gonna read if I don't.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh.
Go ahead. Put it right there. Then I'll push it to this one. Okay, you guys are good to go back to your cars.
Yes, y'all heard that right. Back to the cars.
Okay. Then it continued where this is the statement by the league. The WNBA announces COVID-19 test results, vaccination level for players and staff. Since this was on June 28th, since the start of this regular season, 0 new players have returned a confirmed positive test for COVID-19. In addition, 99% of the league's players are now fully vaccinated. All 12 teams have met the threshold for being considered a fully vaccinated team. And then Natasha said, I don't understand why we aren't being tested at least once a week. Let's talk about player safety if it's a priority. And then Players Association, we're working on it. You're a priority. Your health and safety are a priority. That's interesting. Now, I did a video. I did in the last episode. I talked about how in the NCAA, how they were with the money, giving more money to the men's basketball teams and the women's basketball teams, especially when it came to COVID testing, food, where the girls were going to big places like McDonald's and Wendy's, where the men were getting all these pretty much luxury meals, different things like that. See, I think that's kind of telling of the women's sports and men's sports being unbalanced. It's like that's just not right. And because I'm at a loss. I don't know how to. I don't know how to. I don't know. I don't know if this is because they're fully vaccinated. The league feels like it shouldn't be doing tests, but I feel like you should be doing tests regardless of vaccination status, in my opinion. So I don't understand. I don't know where she's coming off that. I don't really understand. I think I feel like maybe she's trying to say, we really should still be tested regardless. And I don't know if if the league just feels like it's laxing the results, but I feel like regardless of vaccination status, we should be tested at least once a week. But that's interesting. I really don't. I'm confused on that one. We need some more clarification on that one. But I want to continue to follow up on that one. And then Kaiser Gondrezick, former West Virginia Mountaineer, 4th overall pick by the Indiana Fever, is taking a personal leave from the team for the Indiana Fever. They start this Sunday, and doesn't say what happened. I hope she's doing well. Thoughts and prayers. Do what you got to do. If you need to take some time away from the league, whatever you got to do, it's most important thing is you got the support of your teammates and the franchise and things like that. She's a good player. I think she's going to be an all-star. I don't think, in my personal opinion, the Indiana Fever were a great spot for her, but I feel like they could give her the keys, from Danielle Robinson to give to her. That's just me, my personal opinion, but didn't say what with Kaiser. So I hope she's all right, doing well. Interesting. I'm going to do something different. So I'm going to talk about Grand Theft Auto, GTA. So apparently there is a remastered trilogy in the works, including for the Nintendo Switch. Rockstar, this was a report from Kotaku, which has learned from sources that Rockstar Game is remastering Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. That will feature a mix of new and old graphics. I grew up on those games. I think arguably out of the whole franchise, San Andreas is one of the best games of the series, because it's kind of based on what really happened, particularly with the gangs, drugs being pushed in the neighborhoods, corrupt, officials, police, different things like that. So you got to understand. So you got to feel for what it was like, particularly in the '90s. So particularly, like the Rodney King riots, there was a mission that kind of was related to that in the game. Grand Theft Auto 3, I really wasn't a fan of it because Claude didn't talk. He didn't talk. I didn't like that. And Vice City, I liked Vice City stories than Vice City. Vice City was a good. That was with Tommy Vercetti. There was one mission where it was really, really hard. I think it was the one where you had to deliver like ice cream, and you had like a 5-6 star. That was hard, and it was also hard to buy property on that game. It was really hard, like especially like the Malibu Club, which is like half of like $500,000. So I'm curious to see what the remasters would look, especially on the PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox, and their series, and the Nintendo Switch. I don't know how it will look on the Nintendo Switch, but that's interesting. That's interesting. So my last topic of the night, the great Ernie Johnson, a powerful speech. I'm going to close it out with that. Let me preface this by saying, Ernie Johnson Jr. is one of the best sportcasters in the game. Just a great man. Just his story, what he's been through, just an amazing person. He's one of the many reasons he plays a part in why I became interested in becoming a sports journalist, and wanted to do something with radio and television. So that's my focus, and I feel like every time when Inside the NBA comes on, with Ernie, with Kenny, Shaq, and Chuck, I tune in for that because my eye is glued to this show. They don't talk just about basketball, but they make you laugh. And also too, they make you want to go like, no, I disagree with you. Like, no, that's Inside the NBA. And just for the record, I think that, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. And I just think that they need to host the NBA finals. They just need to. I would like to see that, but I got to give a shout out to them. So we're going to close it out with that. And with that being said, that's going to conclude episode 9 of the podcast. If you liked the episode, you want to see more of it like this, be sure to hit that thumbs up. Leave a comment of your thoughts on the topics I touched on tonight. Want to give me more suggestions? Feel free to leave those in the comments as well. But with that being said, I'm out. Peace. Stay up. Have a good weekend.
TBS, Ernie Johnson.
When Nick Saban asks if you would come and speak to his football team, yes and no, not the answers. What time is the answer? And what I've had at Turner, I've been there for 32 years now. What I've got is a get-to job, not a got-to job. I get to do that. When you look across a room and you lock eyes with a teammate and you're wearing the same colors, that you get to. That's not a got to. See, the reason our show is successful is because nobody tries to make it about themselves. Chuck's never tried to do that. Shaq's never tried to do that. Neither has Kenny. And God knows I'm not trying to. Nobody cares what I think about a basketball game. I'm just trying to get us from point A to point B to point C, and I'm trying to make these guys shine. It's about knowing your role. So what is your role? There's value in everybody. Everybody on our team at Turner, value in every position. When I think about value, I think about this kid right here. See, I'd come home from work one day and she said, you know what we need to do? She says, no, we need to go to Romania and adopt a kid. I said, no, hold on. I mean, we've got 2 children. We're the script. We're following the script. Don't be afraid to go unscripted, folks. Cheryl had seen a story on ABC News about these Romanian orphans being warehoused. Those with special needs were just forgotten. Let's give a kid a second chance. So we went unscripted. The nurse who handed this boy to her, you know what she said? She said, "Don't take this boy, he's no good." Can you imagine? And I said, "Bring him home." He gets diagnosed with muscular dystrophy, which a lot of kids don't make it out of their teens when you got that, because your muscles don't grow, they waste away. The coach, with less hair than me, a guy named Phil Beaulieu. Michael, at this point, is in high school. See, this coach knows what I know. He knows there's value in everybody. He said, "I want him to be my 5-foot-tall impact player with no vertical leap." He said, "Because I see value in him. Because the day I met him, I followed him into his classroom. I had a conversation with him, and Michael doesn't communicate well. And he has a kind of a Rain Man kind of memory. So if he meets you, you tell him what you drive, he'll never forget it. So he has this great memory, but he also has this 3 words he loves to say, and you don't have to say it to him first. He just says, 'Love you too.'" This is from a kid who didn't speak until he was 8. So Phil Beaulieu asked if he could be on his basketball team so he could teach his team 2 things. Maximum effort, for Michael to move any muscle in his body. Takes everything he's got. And he said, "I want him to teach my team having a heart for others." And that heart for others runs deep, where you can lock eyes with the teammate and say, "I'd do anything for you. I would do anything for you." He teaches all of his students how to say "I love you" in sign language. He says, and look, if you tip your index finger at the other person, it means "love you too." So that on senior night, Michael goes out last. My wife and I follow his wheelchair out there. Like the other players, people are standing and applauding. But unlike the other players, I look up in the student section and they're standing like this. Because this kid, this Romanian orphan, and this coach from Indiana somehow got together in a gym in Brazelton, Georgia, and taught this huge school about love. Remember, don't take this boy, he's no good. Right. Value in everybody. When you step away from your agenda and notice that there are moments that can make somebody's life better. That's all I try to teach teach my kids. When you wake up in the morning, how am I going to make somebody else's life better today? And there's a team much bigger than this. There's a team that is trying to make somebody's day better. That's all of us. I was just going to wear this shirt today, and I thought it'd be a little informal just to show up in a t-shirt. But this is what's underneath. Be a better human. How are you going to do it? How are you going to do it? Love you too.
First of all, listen, it's interesting about all these young guys today. They never call on us and say, "Hey, thanks for the kind word and telling me how great a player I am." But when they play like crap and we call them out, we don't know what we're talking about. Listen, I'm easy to find, but I get sick of these guys complaining. These young guys, they never call us and say, "When a coach is wrong, I'm going to call him out. But when players are wrong, I'm going to call them out." But listen, I'm going to criticize guys if they deserve it. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.